Does stress impact your fertility? And what is actually considered stress? How do I know if I'm stressed or if my stress levels are bad enough that they're affecting my fertility? These are all important questions. If you're trying to conceive and are wondering if stress can be what's not allowing you to get pregnant, or if you tested your cortisol levels and they are high or are looking off and wondering what the solution is, you're in the right place. Welcome to Fertility TV. In case you're new here, this Fertility TV episode and this Fertility TV channel is the place to be when trying to get pregnant, improve your health, and get to the root cause of your fertility struggles. I've helped thousands of women improve their fertility and get pregnant over the last 20 years that I've been a fertility expert. I've helped them by finding out what's not letting them get pregnant, developing a personalized plan for their needs, and giving them ongoing support to help them follow the plan and improve their health and fertility. If you want my help too, then click on the link below in the description to apply to qualify for my HOPE program. You can talk to a real person on my team, discuss your case, and see if we are a proper and good next step for you on your fertility journey. All right, now let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about stress. Let's talk about the hormones associated with stress and how it impacts your fertility. Cortisol is a hormone produced by your adrenal glands. Your adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys, and it's often associated with the stress response. So if you're in a stressful situation, we can joke around, you're being chased by lions, tigers, and bears. Your body goes into that fight or flight response, and cortisol is released along with a lot of other hormones from your adrenal glands to help your body respond to the stressful situation. It plays a crucial role in various bodily functions, including metabolism, immune response, and your sleep-wake cycle, which is why stress can impact your digestion, weight, your immune system, and your ability to sleep properly. So cortisol is really, really important, but there's lots of other hormones that are impacted as well, or cause your body to respond to stress in a certain way. And that's what this fight or flight response is, and why we've been doing this for so long. So over all these generations and since mankind was created, we have this response, this fight or flight response to save ourselves and to take care of ourselves. So if we're in a fight, we're gonna fight to protect ourselves. And if it's too much, then we're gonna flee, we're gonna run, right? Fight or flight to save ourselves and make sure that we could live another day and be able to grow as human beings. So what happens with cortisol? Well, high stress levels, not just in one moment. So it could be just say a car accident, right? Where it's a big traumatic event, or chronic high levels of stress over a long period of time. Maybe you're in a bad relationship, you're being abused, bad work environment, whatever it might be. All of those things lead to an overproduction of cortisol. Chronic stress may disrupt that delicate balance of hormones involved in your reproductive system and may cause various fluctuations in cortisol levels throughout the day. So cortisol actually naturally fluctuates throughout the day. When you wake up, your cortisol levels start to go up. And as you hit that, mid-morning to midday period of time, you're going to peak. Your cortisol levels are going to peak, or should. And then from there, as you're getting on to the second half of your day, that cortisol level should start to come down considerably in somewhat of a straight line until you get to bedtime, where now it's low enough that your body can settle, can relax, and you can go to bed. We don't always see that. And so if you're only testing cortisol in one moment of time, right? So whether it's the morning or afternoon, that's not going to give you all the information you need. When we test cortisol with the members in my program, we actually test it at 4 and sometimes 5 points in the day so that we can get an understanding throughout the whole cycle of a day of what your cortisol levels look like. So again, they fluctuate naturally throughout the day, but are they fluctuating properly? So are they too high at times, or can they be too low at other times? So I mentioned just a moment ago that cortisol can impact your reproductive system. Well, elevated cortisol levels can affect the regularity of your menstrual cycle. So if your menstrual cycle comes in a very regular, consistent, and predictable time frame, so every 28 or 30 days, if you are stressed and your cortisol levels are too high, maybe even too low, and they're impacting things, they can impact your cycle and cause irregularities with your menstrual cycle. Irregular periods, irregular cycles, irregular ovulation, and changes in the length of your menstrual cycle, too short or too long, can definitely be impacted by stress. And there's a great story of a woman who's in my Hope Coaching program. And it's a recent story. In December, she reached out to me after her last failed cycle, and she said to me that she's going to take some time off away from work. And this is surprising because taking time off from work is not easy for most of us for various reasons, right? But she felt like she really needed to do this. And I think she said she was going to take at least 3 or 4 months off. And as soon as she started to do that and she gave herself a little bit of time away from work and the IVF cycles that she was doing, she saw dramatic changes in not only her health, but her cycle. She was having irregularities in her cycle. And in the last 2 cycles, December and January, her cycles are now 28 days. And prior to that, they had not been. They were all over the place. And so this just shows how stress can impact cycles. And her story is not the only one. I see this all the time, which is often why I ask questions about stress when someone says their cycles are off. The condition where I see this the most, or the condition that's impacted by stress the most, is PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. I see that when women have their cycles regular and everything's going just fine, and then they have some big stressful events going on, or work's been really stressful and they haven't been getting enough sleep or whatnot, then their cycles start to become irregular again. So this is just another way to show you how stress can impact your fertility and your menstrual cycles. Okay, so stress does not just impact women. Stress impacts men as well. Everyone's impacted by stress. In men, elevated cortisol levels may affect sperm production and the quality of the sperm. And stress management is crucial for maintaining optimal sperm health. Just like we talked about with women in terms of their menstrual cycles, the same is true for men. Stress impacts sperm quality by affecting the mitochondrial function. And I saw this so well depicted in a case I recall, which actually was 15 years ago. So I was working with this man and his wife. They were going through IVF and his sperm quality was just awful, really, really terrible. And I remember walking into the embryology lab to talk to the embryologist about something else. And he asked me, was I working with so-and-so? And I said, yes. And he said, well, we know his sperm quality has been really, really terrible, but I just got his last sample back and it's amazing. Like, everything's improved, everything's looking great. And he was scratching his head. He just wasn't sure if it was actually his sample. He's like, maybe we mixed something up. So we decided to call him and talk to him and ask him the question. And we said, so your samples have been really bad, but this sample looks really, really, really good. And we don't know if this is really your sample. Can you tell us what's changed? And he goes, oh, well, I think it was like December, the second week of December. He goes, well, for the last 6 months, I've been on the road, eating crappy, not sleeping well, overworked, super tired. And he went on and on, really stressed. And he went on and on. And he said, well, in December, or starting with December, it was really at Thanksgiving, his work gave him the rest of the year off. And so he said, I've just been sleeping. I've been taking care of myself. I have no stress, feeling really great. And he said, that's my sample. That's, when I gave it. So we both looked at each other amazed. But what it showed us was how impactful stress was to his sperm and the quality of the sperm that he's producing. And I've seen this repeated over the years. And that's why we need to make sure that you are managing your cortisol levels and your stress levels properly for both men and women. Another thing that men can do to impact and improve their sperm quality when it's impacted by stress is take some supplements. So I just mentioned how mitochondrial function is severely impacted by stress. Well, the mitochondria of the cells are the powerhouse of the cells, and these cells are going to be impacted by stress and cause poor quality. So the count, the motility, the morphology are all going to be impacted when mitochondrial function is impacted and when stress is there. And so my team and I, myself, Amy Raup, and Dr. Murphy created a new product called Rejuva Sperm. It's designed to treat all parameters of sperm quality, count, motility, and morphology at a cellular level at the mitochondria, to improve overall sperm quality. And on top of that, we created another product called Rejuva Repair that you use with Rejuva Sperm to enhance its functions because it has greater impact on mitochondrial health with all the antioxidants that are in it. And these are targeted to sperm health and quality. If you want more information on this, then I want to invite you to use the link in the description below. So other things you can do to impact good quality sperm and improve your sperm is create fertility-friendly environment, not just for sperm actually, for eggs as well. So managing stress through relaxation techniques, mindfulness practices, meditation, lifestyle changes, these are all going to create a healthy environment, what we like to call a fertility-friendly environment, to improve and regulate and manage your stress levels and improve your sperm and your egg. Balancing cortisol levels contributes to a healthier reproductive function, and that's what this is going to achieve. Other things that I like to do in conjunction with this, by the way, are adding in holistic approaches to reduce stress. So yoga, I already mentioned meditation, but you can use those in both places. And adequate sleep are very much holistic practices that need to be done on a regular basis. Yoga can help regulate the mind-body connection. Meditation does the same thing. And getting proper sleep allows your adrenal glands to rest, allows your cortisol levels hopefully to come down and regulate to improve sperm quality and egg quality. My other favorite thing for regulating stress is acupuncture. I love it. I think it's amazing for this. It does an amazing job at connecting your mind with your body and allowing your nervous system to reset and regulate. And so I highly, highly encourage that incorporated as well. All right. Now I want to hear from all of you. I want you to comment below and let me know which one of these points actually was new for you and what did you like about this video. And if you've got questions about stress and your fertility, make sure you leave those below as well in the comment section. If you want to really go deep into your fertility, find the root cause that's not allowing you to get pregnant, then be sure to fill out the application to join my Hope Fertility Coaching Program, and more importantly, to speak to a real human, a real person on my team so that they can identify if this program is the right next step for you on your fertility journey. I'm going to leave that link in the description below. Now make sure to check out this other video where you can keep learning more about your fertility and how you can improve it. I'm going to leave that link in the description below as well. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you hit that bell to subscribe and get notified when I put out another video for all of you. And until the next video, stay fertile.